brand new music from Justin Bieber. Song's called What Part of Don't Go Out Do You Not Understand? At the top of the hour, Dave Kelly of the Mr. Fix-It Show is going to come by and tell us how to turn your children's drawings into toilet paper. Also going to announce the lucky winner of a 6-ounce bottle of Purell. But first, questionable material with Jack and Brian. You're listening to a special shelter-in-place edition of Questionable Material with Jack and Brian. This episode, homeschooling, sheltering in place, and Jack loses power in the middle of the episode. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
I didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day until Betsy was telling the kids to put green on this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no clue.
I didn't bother because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Hi, Brian.
How's your quarantine going?
Because of the rules of quarantine, I'm not allowed to tell you.
Oh, are you sheltered in place?
I am sheltered in place.
Me too.
And someone came to my door today to work on our sound system, and I wouldn't let him in the house.
They wanted to work on your sound system?
Yes.
What do you mean?
This guy was supposed to come 2 different times and just didn't show. And so he shows up today.
Really?
Today.
On Plague Day.
On Plague Day at like 9:30 in the morning, just knocking on my door. I'm like, who the fuck is knocking on my door?
How do people just not understand at this point?
I don't know.
Amazing.
But he's knocking on my door. Just like, can I come in?
I missed you the last 2 times. I was in Italy, but I'm here now. I feel very bad.
Why?
Because my 13-year-old received the most expensive bar mitzvah invitation I've ever seen.
Okay.
It arrived via Federal Express.
Okay.
And it was like this. It's a big box. It had his name printed on the outside. And then you undo it and you fold it and it opens up and it's like this hardcore. It's a box. I mean, engraved and clearly a very expensive invite for a bat mitzvah that will most likely not happen.
That's really funny.
It's in May and I'm thinking, no, probably not.
Wow. Did it on the inside? Did it say that the Golan Heights are ours?
It said, in lieu of donations, please help us destroy the Temple Mount.
Yeah, no. Well, we do what we can, you know?
Yeah. So I felt bad for them. I've got some cousins having a wedding in June.
Okay.
Not so sure. We were on the fence about going and now I'm really, leaning against it. But at this point, it's been decided for us by Mother Nature.
Yes.
Can we talk about the crazy people that come out of the woodwork when something like this happens?
Yes,
just like all over Twitter and Facebook and Reddit and everything else.
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of crazy people.
Yes.
Like,
there's got to be an example in your head.
Well, I mean, there's just, this is clearly an example of Agenda 15. It's just like, what? Agenda 21, look it up. And it's just a bunch of crazy people convinced that, either it was created by the Chinese to get us or created by us to get them. Or, George Soros comes up a few times. It's just like, come on, people. It's really nuts. It's kind of disconcerting.
You giggle. Well, that's interesting. Oh God. Can I get that through the mic?
We'll find out. Get a little closer. So
now, Brian, tell us about your health.
My health. Well, I'm slightly concerned.
Okay.
Because I have had a mild headache, like a dull headache, and some muscle pain in my neck muscles.
Okay.
For a few days.
Okay.
Don't have a temperature.
Okay.
My wife thinks it's psychosomatic.
Mm-hmm.
Although I did travel a week ago to a podcast conference in Florida. And so that, that kind of concerns me because there were 1,800 people there and, there was a lot of networking.
Okay.
So, I have a regimen every morning. She's got me on all sorts of vitamins, vitamin C, zinc, and all this other stuff. Honey, Manuka honey, which is more expensive than gold. Just kind of, just being weary, taking it easy. Okay. I'm sleeping in a different bedroom.
Okay.
I don't hug or kiss the kids goodnight.
Okay, good. So, but now this is you're sleeping in a different bedroom than the one you already sleep apart with from your wife?
Yeah, it's the French term is chambre à part, chambers apart.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have one bedroom for the male, one for the female. We have an extra guest bedroom for someone who wants to be even further from their spouse.
Okay, so the bedroom you were kicked out of already.
Yeah.
So that's the main room. So your wife is in there, and you were sleeping in the other room, sexually apart from your wife completely.
Right.
And then you potentially got COVID, so you've had to go to a brand new different bedroom.
Yeah. Well, it's a room we call the attic.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of I've got an Anne Frank vibe.
Oh, that's neat.
I'm up there all day long. I'm not allowed to make noise.
Are you writing a diary?
I am. I've been keeping notes.
Would you mind? I know it's really personal. People like to sort of be protective of their diary. Would you mind just reading us your excerpt from maybe this morning or last night?
Yeah, it just says, let me see. Here it is. Bored, kill me, bored.
Okay.
That's pretty much the theme.
Now that sounded exactly like Anne Frank's diary as well.
Yeah.
And her wish came true. So do you think?
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
I'm just taking my Manuka honey.
So this is kind of a cliffhanger. Like this is a way. This is great that you might have COVID for not for you necessarily, but for our listenership, because this is like a cliffhanger.
So this is like Who Shot JR?
Yes,
right?
Yes, exactly.
This is the Who Shot JR, or what's the General Hospital? What was Luke and Laura?
Yeah, but they just kept getting married, didn't they?
I don't remember. But yeah, this is the Who Shot JR of our generation. Is Brian going to die of COVID? And,
man, I can't
catapult the podcast to fame posthumously, which was always a dream of mine.
Oh man, I would love. Oh man, I've had your the words I'm going to say at your funeral written for a long time.
I imagine.
A long, long time.
Just be gentle.
I will, to your wife.
Oh,
hey baby, it's okay.
Come over here,
baby.
She's been coughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
She had a dry cough for a while now.
Are you going to make it a wet cough?
Nope, I'm not allowed to go near her. She looks at me as though I've been bitten by a werewolf.
Oh, that's sweet. I know that look. Believe me.
You know, like the zombie movies when people may or may not have bitten, and everybody's just kind of looking at him, and the guy's like, "I'm fine. What you guys? Stop worrying about it. Stop." I think we're in that phase.
Yeah, look, I always grow a beard in an afternoon. It's fine.
So yeah, that's the daily routine. The kids are now in their e-school.
Okay.
13-year-old loves e-school. He tells me and I asked him why, and he said because he got a nice 3-hour break.
Okay, good.
You know, certain classes they just can't do. Gym is just they had him download apps. So
gym app.
He's downloaded like 2 or 3 apps for like walking around. You know, pedometer apps. That's his gym class. That's PE.
That's awesome. What is there an app that he can download to like punch himself for not being good enough at sports?
Like a bullying app?
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's working on one now. Really, everybody's rising to the occasion.
Well, don't you think that's who we need to be worried about, Brian? Like, there's so many, everyone is reaching out, and there are all these things online and schedules and courses and workbooks and all this sort of learning. But what about the bullies?
I've been thinking that, and it's sad. I mean, these guys have no one to push around for weeks, for sure. And for all we know, they're going to go right through the end of the school year and not be able to push anybody around. They're going to be at home. The best they can hope to do is bully people virtually, which doesn't have the same kind of effect.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be reduced to cyberbullying.
It's just not the same.
No. And the hardship is unfathomable for these kids.
Oh, God, it just makes me so sad.
Yeah.
I just worry about them. The last thing I want for them is to realize how much they don't like themselves,
Exactly. Because now they have time to think about it. Also, they'll get beaten by their parents while they're sitting at home. Which tends to be the root of all the bullying at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, then maybe they need to They just need to, yeah, I guess they need to get online. Well, this is what, it's the same sort of thing with seniors, how they're encouraging people, like maybe, write people in nursing homes some letters, have your kids write letters to people in nursing homes. I think we can do a lot of that same sort of thing with the bullying community. I think, we need to find, and again, maybe connect these with old people and just have the bully. If you've got a young bully that you're raising, find some disgusting, weird looking old people in your neighborhood and have them write some letters.
Yeah. I've been knocking around, going to old people's doors and just knocking on them and giving them a hug and just telling them I'm here for you. And, I want to, and then they kind of look very standoffish. I'm like, don't be standoffish. And I'll just move in and give them a big beer hug and whisper into their ear, like, I'm here, That's how, and so far the response has been, unanimous.
Oh, that's unanimity is really important.
Yes.
When you're looking for responses.
Yes. So
I don't necessarily look at the type of responses. I just need them to all be the same.
No, exactly. We all got the same response every single time.
Have you gone back for a second visit to any of those folks?
I was actually trying to this morning, but there was an ambulance in the driveway, so I just decided to wait.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, check back tomorrow and let's find out what that was all about.
Yeah. No, it's weird.
And so how's the wife handling COVID times?
We went and bought a ton of groceries because our plan was to not have to go to the store for a long period of time. So we have frozen meats and things like that. And she's been cooking like crazy. Like she made fried chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning, I made steak one night. I sent you a picture to make you jealous.
You did. It was upsetting because it looked like one of your perfect steaks.
It was phenomenal. And then she made a chocolate Guinness cake today for St. Paddy's. I'll send you a picture of that to make you jealous.
Yeah, please do. Now, what's the sort of situation with her lovers and stuff? Like, is she able to see them? Is that a virtual situation? What's going on with the men in her life that she's actually sexually attracted to? That
it's called a penis distancing. So the goal is.
Now, you've always been 4 inches apart from your wife. Is that right?
Yeah. I tend to stay about 4 inches away. In this case, they've been asked to stay away by 6 feet. Which is a problem for most of her lovers except for Long Johnny.
Brian, what does she see in Long Johnny?
6 foot 8 inch penis.
I thought it was his personality.
No, he has none. Yeah, all he cares about is hanging sheetrock and banging my wife. So sad.
There's a Facebook group for that subsection of America.
Sheetrock bangers. Yeah.
Of just people who want to bang your wife, but also lay sheetrock.
I tried to join it, but I got rejected. I think they know who I am.
I wonder which qualification you fell short on.
How have you been doing during the lockdown?
Okay. Day one as a teacher today. I'm now a teacher, a second and third grade teacher.
And what are you teaching?
I'm teaching math, but I don't understand math anymore.
Because because it's Common Core now, or just because you haven't used it?
I guess. Well, I mean, I sat my son down and watched him do a multiplication problem, and I couldn't begin to comprehend how he was doing it. Like all these weird things. Like, what about just putting like the number and then on top and then another number below, and then if you're doing 14 times 7. You do 4 times 7 is 28,
Right. And carry the 2 and all that.
Carry the 2. And he's like, I've never seen this before.
Wow. So how do they do it?
I don't know.
We're all going to learn.
We're all going to either die or we're all going to learn crappy math.
Maybe for the next episode, I can have an online school for your kids.
Well, I was thinking about that. We should absolutely do that. And I also want the kids to come up maybe shortly, and they've got some COVID questions to ask.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. On this special COVID-19 edition of Questionable Material.
So, yeah, so I'm a teacher now. And
are you accredited?
I graduated 11th grade.
Okay, good. So you can teach up to 11th grade then.
I think that's what that
Or you're
means,
qualified to teach up to masters. If it's critical theory.
That's true. Also, I gave myself tenure.
Oh, good for you.
Absolutely. So even if
you didn't even have to do the tenure track. You just got it.
I did. I fast-tracked myself. But anyway, are you proud of me for getting tenure?
I am proud of you for getting tenure.
Yeah,
wow,
thanks.
Are you teaching history and social studies and everything?
Well, this is only my first day. So far, we've only done math.
So did the school give you any guidance? Did they say, here's what you need to do to teach the kids today?
I haven't looked at that only because this is I'm not sure exactly what's going on. We have workbooks. So I had the kids fill out some workbooks and to sort of get a sense of what they could do. And we learned that. And then I had the kids, since today's St. Patrick's Day, I read them some facts about St. Patrick's Day and St. Patrick.
That he got his head lopped off outside the. That's Valentine. Never mind. I'm thinking of St. Valentine. See, I shouldn't teach history, at least that part.
No. What do you think you're most qualified to teach, Brian?
If I had to teach, definitely history and maybe English.
Uh-huh.
And then, social studies.
Sure.
And then it's, math, not my strong point.
Mm-hmm.
French, a little bit.
Okay. What about women's biology?
I mean, I could show them where the poo-poo hole is.
See, I taught my kids that today as well. And fortunately for the tenure, they can't touch me.
Right.
So Brian.
Yes, Jack.
Now we've established on the show already that you're kind of a medical expert.
I am.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Very recently we talked about that.
Yes.
So I thought now would be a really good time for you to give some of your to really sort of lean into your area of expertise and to give some COVID, just some advice for people, because that's top of mind. That's what everyone wants to talk about is coronavirus.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you could just sort of teach people, some tips and some things they're going to want to do to stay safe.
Okay.
So a lot of people are stockpiling groceries. You and I have already talked about how we've spent a ton of money just stockpiling groceries so we don't have to go out. But should people have to go out to the grocery store, what's the best way to stay safe?
Ideally, if you're going to the grocery store, you want to protect your face from the germs that are out there. Wear a ski mask.
Okay.
If you have any kind of fanning device like a machete or an axe, something you can use to kind of wave the ear in front of you.
To shoo the germs away.
To shoo the germs away. You want to create ear vortexes that drive the germs away. So you want to get out of your car brandishing, say, a machete, and you want to start doing this swirling motion with the machete as you approach the store.
So like a machete fan.
Yeah. And it's just good, get out, get out, get out, get out, and just keep swirling the machete. That will create an ear vortex that'll bring the germs away from you, carry them away as you enter the store, screaming, get out.
It's so helpful in times like this to have an expert.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that we have the internet where I can help disseminate this helpful information.
That's what the internet is best for.
Yes.
It really is.
It really is. As I've noticed the last few days, it's really good for spreading information.
Yes, just really solid, sound information. So once you're in the store and you've got your ski mask on, you're swinging your machete around, screaming, get out. Is there a way that you should interact with cashiers? Because I worry about sort of interacting with them because they come in contact with everybody who just goes through the line.
Right.
So is there a way that you would recommend interacting with them?
Yes. So once you've gotten all your groceries, you're going to go up to them. You're going to continue to wave the germs away with your machete and just say, open the cash register. Because you want to put your money in. You want to put your money in. So you're going to say, open the cash register now. Okay. And just keep waving your machete.
Okay.
All right.
That's great.
Yeah. They might just take out the money and give it to you because they're worried about the future. And they see in you that maybe, you need help. So they might, as I've experienced on a couple of shopping trips, they might just hand you all the money that's in the cash register, which to me is a lovely humanitarian gesture.
That's, what, Brian, that makes me, it's at times like this when America comes together and shows its true character.
Yeah. And I just want to thank the folks at Hudson Valley Farm Store for generously giving me the contents of their cash register. Lovely people.
That's great.
Yeah. And they were so happy. They were screaming with joy to see, that they were doing a good thing. People, really rise in times of crisis, and I appreciate it.
Oh, so and you found that the people in that store rose?
They rose a lot of they rose. They raised their hands in the air, like in praise, almost like, yay, like jazz hands. And it was a lovely experience.
That's great, Brian.
And I think they appreciated that I was trying to swirl the germs away from them by waving the machete out in front of me.
Right. So it's sort of like, here's a considerate man. What can we do for him?
Right. And then, open the cash register because I'm ready to pay.
Yep.
And then they're like, here you go. Here you go. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like they turned St. Patrick's Day into Christmas. That is the true miracle of COVID-19.
Oh, man, it is inspiring. You know what? I don't feel so bad now about being locked into a house with my kids.
No, it's great. Spending lots of quality time, hearing them through the walls.
Mm-hmm,
yeah, It's lovely.
So I wanted to ask you, that's a good segue because that was something else that we've gotten a lot of comments because I think people know you're an expert and we've gotten a lot of letters and emails that people want to know sort of like if someone in your family is showing symptoms, again, this is something I think you could speak to personally, but also just using your expertise, what's a good way to, within your quarantine, within your family quarantine, if someone is showing signs of illness, what do you do?
Do you have a dryer?
Yeah, of course.
You put them in the dryer. You set a 60-minute cycle on sanitize.
Oh,
hopefully a lot of dryers nowadays have a sanitize feature.
Okay.
So you put on it's a 60 to 90 minute cycle. And it will really heat up and destroy the germs.
So it kills all the germs on and inside your family member?
Yep.
And so, so after that, let's say you do a 90-minute cycle, because we're being a little extra cautious.
Right.
You open up the door and then you assist them out, or?
I'm going to find out in about 23 minutes.
Who did you sanitize?
My youngest son started sniffling.
Just a sniffle?
Yeah.
It is also allergy season.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can never be too safe in this environment.
Okay. Cool. It's very important for your kids to get exercise.
Yes.
So what are some ways that you would recommend getting some outdoor time, getting some fresh air and some exercise during the current situation?
Well, there's an app called Runbow. And you have them download that app. Then you go outside and sit on the stoop or any outdoor furniture you have and activate Runbow. And then it's like a little running stick figure. And the more you tap on the screen, the faster the stick figure runs. And do that for about 10 to 15 minutes. And that's going to kind of get your virtual cardio going.
Okay.
And then, after that, 15, 20 minutes outside, I think is fine. And go back indoors and back to the screens.
So it's sort of an outdoor screen break to when you go back inside for more screens.
Indoor, yeah.
Okay. Huh. Is there anything, maybe there are a few listeners out there who would actually want to get their kids moving, like actually physically moving themselves?
Yeah. Well, what we did the other day was my son's an avid skateboarder. And so we grabbed the skateboard, we hopped in the car, we drove to the skateboard park. And then we said, you should be able to use this in 45 to 60 days. Then we drove back to the house and he went back up to his screens.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Well, gosh, a lot of people, Brian, are doing their shopping online and having just the things they need delivered to their house.
Yes.
A lot of people are wondering, can you catch COVID from the boxes that you receive?
Yes.
Oh gosh. How does that happen?
Say you ordered a basketball hoop.
Yep, I did. That's amazing.
Yep. That's the first thing we did when we saw the storm coming. We ordered a basketball hoop and a souffle pan. Yep. Like most Americans. And let me do the doomsday scenario. So he pulls into your driveway and he sneezes. Oh. And then he stops. He goes out back. He takes your box, picks it up, goes outside, hands it to you. You don't have to sign for it anymore because they've eliminated that. And but then you pick up the box and you in exactly the same places where he placed his sneeze hands.
Right.
So now you're transmitting, right?
Mm-hmm,
and then you're walking to the house and you put the box down and you see out a deer in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And as people like to do, you know, when you do that, you see a deer and you do the sexy pose where you kind of put your finger in your mouth and turn your head and like look like this foxy glance.
Yeah. I mean, I know that look. I don't necessarily associate it with deer, but okay, go on.
So you see the deer and you're like, oh, I'm going to give this deer a sexy glance. And you kind of look at it and you put your finger in your lip and you look at them. And then the deer, of course, hisses and runs off like deer do. But in that moment, when you touch your finger to your lip to look sexy and sultry for the deer, you've basically let the COVID virus get into your body.
I see.
And then it's going to start setting up shop.
Can you get it from sharing needles?
Can you get COVID from sharing needles?
Yes.
Yeah. So let me give you a scenario.
Okay, please.
You boil your heroin, right?
Yep.
And then in the spoon like they do. And then you suck it all up with the needle.
Yes.
And then you lick the spoon, right, to clear off the heroin. And then you guys inject drugs. And then you're like, oh, do you guys want some consommé? Then he made some consommé on a hot pot. And he shares the consommé with his friends using that dirty spoon.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Man.
A lot of ways to transmit this thing.
Yeah, you've got a lot of really smart examples.
Yep.
Okay, well, good. That's good advice. Thank you. Just one more question I want to ask you real quick.
Yes.
You told me that COVID-19 you're not worried about at all. You're worried about COVID-20.
COVID-20 is the big thing.
So what's the difference?
Well, I'm more worried about COVID-20 because that actually is much more dangerous for the youth.
Oh, gosh.
And it really loves electronic dance music. And that, dear audience, is the point at which Jack's power went out. Normally, we record these podcasts together, but because of the current circumstances surrounding the shelter at home thingy and all that, we recorded it remotely. And it sounded pretty good until Jack's power went out. Because when life gives you lemons, like a plague and your kids at home and your work shutting down for weeks, it gives you more lemons, like the transformer in your neighborhood blowing up. So we decided we'll just end the episode here, post it. And because we have potentially infinite time in the future, we might do another podcast tomorrow or Thursday or Friday or it's Saturday. Who knows? It's pretty much wide open these days. So we hope you enjoy questionable material. And if you do, please review it and tell your friends, because your friends are presumably sitting around doing the same exact thing everyone else is doing, which is looking for something to do. So this is something to do. Good night.